Okay, so Killer is in standard tuning. I will make a chart which will be available on my Patreon. The link will be in the description. So there's the original version from the EP, which is on acoustic guitar, but the chords are a little different. And then there's the Stranger in the Alps version, which is on piano. I found one video of her playing it on acoustic, but in the Stranger in the Alps style. So that was sort of what I based it on. Okay, so the intro, which is just like the verse, starts with a C, and it's this C. So first finger on the first fret of the B, second finger on the second fret of the D, third finger on the third fret of the low E, and pinky on the third fret of the A. And now let's just take a second to talk about the strumming. So it's kind of like this. So you start with a down strum on the low strings, and then you do a couple down strums on the high strings, but that aren't upbeats. So it's like 1, 2, well, 1, and then a up, down, up, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, up, down, up, low, high, 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 up, down, up, low, high, high, high. And when you're changing, you change in that up, down, up part, right? Change. Okay. As usual, you know, find your own way with the strumming is cool. I would never recommend trying too hard to exactly imitate someone else's strumming, but that sort of gets the feel. You could also use your thumb. I thought about doing that to get like a softer sound, but I ended up using this kind of pick. Okay, so you have the C for 2 bars. And then it switches to E minor, but E minor with this extra note. It's like an E minor with a 6 or whatever. So my first finger stays on the first fret of the B, my second finger goes to the second fret of the A, and my third finger goes to the second fret on the D. And that's what I play for E minor. So C for 2 bars, then E minor for 2 bars. Then it feels like it's repeating that, but the second time, instead of E minor for 2 bars, it switches after 1 bar to G. And you could play a regular G. You could play a regular G, but I think she adds this, so it's like a G add 4. So first finger stays on the first fret of the B, second finger's on the second fret of the A, third finger's on the third fret of the low E, pinky's on the third fret of the high E. So it goes to that. And then in the intro, then it'll stay on this for another bar. So 2 bars on C, 2 bars on E minor, 2 bars on C, 1 bar on E minor, 2 bars on G. That's the intro, which it goes back to after the first chorus. The verse. The verse is very similar. So the first verse and the second verse are a little different than each other though, but the first verse, it's gonna go 2 bars on C, to 2 bars on E minor, back to 2 bars on C, now 1 bar on E minor, 1 bar on G, and then repeat. And then when it repeats, the second time, it spins that extra bar on G. So E minor, G. That's the verse. I'll do the second verse now. So the second verse sounds just like the first verse. 2 bars on C, 2 bars on this E minor, 2 bars on this C, 1 bar on this E minor, 1 bar on this G, and now it goes to F. So I'll introduce this F now. This is like an F major 7. First finger on the first fret of the B, second finger on the second fret of the G, third finger on the third fret of the A, pinky on the third fret of the D. If you want, you can get your thumb involved and have your thumb play the first fret on the low E. If you don't like playing with your thumb, or you can't play with your thumb, just avoid strumming the low E string. And that's your F major 7. So in that second verse, it goes F major 7 for 2 bars, and then A minor, and then A minor over B. And to get to that, just you're in this A minor, just move your second finger. A minor chord, I assume you know, is first finger on the B, first fret, second finger on the D, second fret, third finger on the G, second fret. And then just move your second finger from the D string to the second fret on the A string. Am I doing on time? Oh, good. Okay, so, and then that, and then it goes back to the F major 7. But it does a weird thing. It's on the F major 7 for 10 beats, like 2 bars and half a bar. Right, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And then it's on the G for 4 bars. I should point out, in general, when you're on this G add 4, you can sometimes pick up the first finger and make it a regular G. Like, she does that there. It's like, so it's on the G, and I think it's like 1. You know, it plays around with that, going between a G. You might call this a G sus4, but G sus4 and G. The chorus. The chorus, the first chord of the chorus is a D minor, first finger on the first fret of the high E, second finger on the second fret of the G, third finger on the third fret of the B. And so on that for 1 bar, A minor, D minor, and then it switches to A minor. And then this chord, which is kind of like a D7 over F sharp. Keep your first finger on the first fret of the B, second finger goes to the second fret on the low E, third finger goes to the second fret on the G. That's for 1 bar, and now F major 7 again for 2 bars. So beginning of the chorus, D minor, 2, 3, 4, A minor, D7 over F sharp, F major 7. Stay on the F major 7, go to C, now go to the G. She does this trick in that version that I found where she goes, so you want to do that, you're on this G, you could just stay on the G for 2 bars. Or you could do the G and then that. But if you want to do this, now hammer, take the second finger, pick it up from where it is on the A string, and hammer it on to the second fret on the D. And then pick up the third finger and hammer it on to the third fret on the D. So you're, and obviously you have to, in this hand, get a little more like active, right? Kind of going into a down, up, down, up, down, up of just the top 4 strings. All these little folky things sometimes she does, like on C you can hammer on the second finger, you can do the same thing on F. Anyway, that's that lick if you want to do it. It's totally optional. The rhythm of it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, I think. So the second finger hammers on beat 3, and then the third finger hammers on beat 1 of the next measure. And the second finger hammers onto the second fret on the D, and the third finger hammers onto the third fret on the D. So second half of the chorus, D minor, A minor for a bar, and now this weird chord at E over G sharp. So first finger on the second fret of the D, third finger on the fourth fret of the low E, and that third finger should kind of lean over a little bit in order to mute the A string, and the pinky on the fourth fret of the G. That's an E over G sharp, and then that's just for 1 bar, and obviously picking wise now you have to just stay on those low strings, and then you just move the whole thing up 1 bar, 1 fret, which which makes it an F over A. So now the first finger's on the 3rd fret of the D, the 3rd finger's on the 5th fret of the low E, and the pinky's on the 5th fret of the G. Stay on that another bar. And now the F over A becomes an F minor over A flat. Keep the first finger where it is on the 3rd fret of the D, keep the pinky where it is on the 5th fret of the G, but now your 3rd finger on the 5th fret of the low E picks up and your 2nd finger takes over on the 4th fret, on the 4th fret of the low E. Now at the end of the first chorus, that gets right back into the intro. Right? At the end of the second chorus, goes back to C for 2 bars, and now it does that again. And then, now you could either play the same voicings, or what she does there, and then she goes to an F major 7, and then an F minor like that. So it goes to C for 2 bars, and then F major 7, as we've done, and then F minor. So now the first finger becomes a bar of the 1st fret on the G, the B, and the E. The 3rd finger's on the 3rd fret of the A, the pinky's on the 3rd fret of the D. So you go from F major 7 to F minor, and ends on F minor. Typical suspenseful Phoebe Bridgers ending. F major 7 to F minor. That's the tag at the end of the second chorus. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. As I played the beginning of that intro just now, I realized, I don't think I told you, she does that. It's optional. Like when you're in the intro, C, E minor, and check it out. Pick up the first finger and make it into a regular E. And notice where that happened. It happened on the upbeat right before the second bar of E, so E minor. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's the same kind of thing as on the G, right? Where you can have that first finger, then you can pick it up. Okay, hopefully that all makes sense. Let me know if you have any questions, and thanks for watching.